the 2021 PDGA Tim Selinske U.S. Masters Championships. Presented by Innova, I'm Grant Zellner with the PDGA alongside Des Redding, Hall of Famer, and with me in the booth, also playing on today's card.
What a treat to be able to be in the booth and be a player on this beautiful course that we have coming up. I mean, look at the good time we had out there. We're dancing, we're throwing some shots. Get ready, everyone.
Harmony Bends Disc Golf Course at Strawn Park here in Columbia, Missouri. Hole number one, a par 5, 531-foot hole with some serious trouble to start out your round.
Yeah, for the players, if you don't really land into the right position, you are going to be pitching up and playing for a birdie opportunity, a very technical birdie 4.
So, first to tee in the feature card of the FP40 division of the Tim Selinske, we have Jennifer Allen.
Jennifer Allen, a former sort of neighbor of mine in central Oklahoma, now from Gilbert, Georgia, first off the box.
Jennifer is really known for her crushing drives. She's going to go full out to get herself in that really good position that we're all looking for. About a 289 if you can land it right.
Almost takes that creek completely out of play with that shop shape. A great start to her round.
You can see I'm up on the box next, and I love dusting off with the birdie bag. Fred Salas, he made those. That's a great one. Actually, this is one of the original glow T-birds. I'm actually just trying to hit this corner. The corner tree you're going to see up here is about a 260 some. So I'm just trying to play a position. I know I'm not going to be able to drive and maybe score an eagle, so I'm really working for that birdie. I'm happy with that.
Well placed.
Final player to tee in the feature group of the 2021 Tim Selinske Open. We got Owen Scoggins.
Here's Owen Scoggins rounding out our threesome. A recently crowned world champion.
Owen can go both ways here. She can throw her backhand or her sidearm, and she does the same thing. Going to cut right in front, and that is a well-placed backhand to set up that second shot.
Could almost throw a blanket over all three of those tee shots.
So it's about a 200-foot to the OB line before we cross the creek. A lot of us, if you are out of position, are going to just do that. Right there was a little stingray that I threw just short of the OB. Looks like Owen's going to do the same.
This first hole is a great opportunity to kind of settle in.
Jen has really mastered drive. Because of the tail off, she actually has to lay up. Also, when I was out there, she did say she was going for the green on eagle if she landed where she was in the middle. This is a classic John Houck designed course. He has great openers and finishing holes. Enjoy the round. A class act Hall of Famer designer. We'll put you to the test right off the start. From here to the drop zone, I did a couple rangefinders. Thank you, Bushnell. It was about 167 feet from my shot right here. So that's what I'm looking at. I've got a full look at it. I would really like to throw this in right now.
And you nearly do.
Oh, it was so close. The beauty of going for it, if you don't go for it, you don't have a chance to go in. So never be afraid of those comeback putts. That one had a chance. I'll make that comeback putt.
Jen electing not to go for her comeback putt with that creek not too far this side of the basket. She decided to lay up.
It is true. What 15 feet will do for you when you do have the OB is really close to that cliffside right there. No one needs an opening hole extra stroke to start with. Oh, and with a really nice little tap in here, you can see how close that OB line is on hole 1. So thank you, Houck. That is a wonderful opening hole to challenge us. The lead card just killed it with a, is that 4? Yeah, nope, I'm sorry. Jennifer did take a 5 on that opener.
Moving on to hole number 2. A 342-foot par 4. Significant because of its sharp angle back to the right. It parallels the creek most of the way. Also, I would say significant because it's a par 4 at only 342 feet.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I think the pars are kind of soft out here. We are in a division of all women with a diverse skill set. I'm using my Des Redding Stingray right now, and so that is an indicative of what the hole has to offer. I want to control it, hit my gap, and if I do that, I should be able to score that 3. So that's a good shot.
For those in the know, playing every hole from the red tees today, which for me, for example, provided a completely different perspective on a number of holes here on this course. I had played before, but from the blues, and the reds set up with completely different angles on a number of holes and completely different decisions that John Hoke has you making.
Yeah, John is a really great designer. When he does put multiple pads into holes, you will get a great course to play. When I had my practice rounds, I actually played with an MP40, so from the blues. I also had an MP50 from the whites and another woman from the reds. So we had a great look at all what Harmony had to offer.
Jen going for the green with her tee shot gets caught up early.
Jen very rarely does not go for any shot. So with her power, that is one of her strengths. When you ask her what is her strength, she is like throwing hard. So you've got to know what your strengths are when you're out there on the disc golf course and utilize those. They might not always work out, but if you stay to your game plan, you're going to have some good outcomes.
Just 9 feet behind the pin, you'll find that OB cliff down into that creek.
Very slippery with that OB, even with our great shots here with Owen and myself. More than likely, we are giving them just their layups. I'm going to say I didn't have any thought of going for it. Throwing a whale here. It's a really nice disc, just being able to hook up, get at the basket, really in a good plastic. Jennifer still feeling really comfortable with this turbo putt, nails it.
The disc never comes off the line when you use a turbo putt. Jen goes to that often within about 15 or even 20 feet.
It is a skill. I know when I work with teachers, it's a nice putt to be able to have when you have obstacles. If you're feeling shaky around the green, the turbo putt will give you that. We've all thrown balls in our life for a lot of times, so it's a really classy shot to have in your bag.
On to hole number 3, just 136 feet, but sharply uphill from the tee pad. Obviously a par 3. This feels like a must-make for all 3 of you at this level of competition.
I agree. House designs usually have about a turkey in here. We'll have some small shots. I'm doing a standstill whale putter, so it is a must-make. There's a tree on the corner that you want to cut right in front of or behind it, and you should be able to get it. Oh, that's the tree. All right. That could have been a long outside putt, or now it worked out, but that is the tree you're aiming for. Unless you're doing this sidearm.
Not quite a blind shot. You can see the top of the basket. It does slope sharply away from the player, which is something to take into account because you're up kind of on a bluff that eventually heads down toward where we just putted on hole number 2. So some interesting things to take into account as our players tee off here.
Owen threw a rock 3 right there on her sidearm. This is a very rare sidearm from Jennifer Allen. She's been working really hard at it. We both started about the PDGA at the same time. So forehands are not in our wheelhouse.
Difficult putt here for Owen. Significantly downhill.
I would say a very rare miss from Owen. She was outside the circle, though, so we won't count it too much against her. Jennifer Allen got it in with the fist pump. Sidearm birdie for Jennifer. Wonderful. And I will take the tree hit and tap in. And if you noticed, good tips for any other players, I did, even though it's a small spot, I marked my lie, I did my birdie bag, and did my routine. If you struggle with any putts, do your routine at every single time. It's a pro tip.
I noticed that about all 3 of you during the course of this round. The frequency and consistency of using that entire routine, even on very short putts. Hole number 4, 222 feet, par 3, significantly downhill. From the blue tees, this is a blind shot over the crest of the hill. From the red tees, you're looking right down that narrow gap, right into this green complex.
So I'm standing still. I'm actually throwing an AVR putter, stand still, same thing. You really want to be able to negotiate the hill slide here. So not too much height to negotiate it. I can see I can keep it really nice and low. I'm going to let gravity work and just slide it right in there. And you can even see it hit in those wood chips, and that gravity, as Grant was saying, is going to carry that disc.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jennifer. She's got her that's her AVR, just her AVR. Gravity did get a hold of that one. Good line, but it gets hot when it gets down there.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a disc that hasn't been in Jen's bag for quite some time. She can obviously overpower most putters, but with these downhill shots that come up from time to time on this course, she needed something understable that she could let glide all the way down a hill. And so she turned to me and mentioned that that disc was brand new to her bag.
Wow, I'm impressed. I'm actually throwing a pretty much an antique bag.
We need to talk about how cool your shirt is with the Prism logo in the middle and the white line on the right sleeve and the rainbow stripes on the left sleeve.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my home state of Iowa and the Des Moines Challenge. If you've not played the Des Moines Challenge, please look it up on the PDGA's event schedule. The PDGA is sanctioning 6,000 events nowadays, so make sure that you scroll through there and find it. A fantastic event, and you will not play some of the finest courses if you go out and play Des Moines Challenge. Check it out.
4 birdies in a row for you through 4 holes. We're up to hole number 5 as we rocket up the hill, significantly uphill, more uphill than the hole we just played downhill.
Agreed. This one actually, when you read the description, has 4 distinct landing zones to get up. Now, we did have a bit of a wait as we're waiting down here, and I felt really strong on the tee pad, and you got to get it up. My notes actually said I'm a real low thrower, is basically just throw it higher. I am throwing a Roadrunner right here. Yeah, oh, I took some bark off of it. I wondered why it was come flaying down there. Yeah.
You really smashed that one. 350 feet total, a par 4. And as you hear often, the camera is not doing the elevation change justice. This is significantly uphill just to get to this initial landing zone.
This is a really good shot. That forehand comes in nicely from left to right and sets it up to the actual S-curve that we're seeing on the green. Jennifer's got all the power to reach it. She is definitely thinking of shaping her shots. Her S-curve shots are really phenomenal.
That deflection sure didn't hurt.
No, you can see the basket right there. She's loving this. I am not. I got another Stingray in my hand. Just really trying to fight for some position. That was so high. I mean, in the end, that is a really high elevation change that we're dealing with right now. Owen with her forehand and some really good positioning.
Manages to place that upshot on circle's edge.
Got a Yeti Pro AVR here. A little turnaround, patent pending, as it's now called. Sometimes you're just working for it.
Mm-hmm. I walked over and checked this lie out. Jen with really no direct line, having to go out and around.
I applaud her. I tell you, if you got anyone in the 1500, like we're both 15863, she is maybe 15354. We don't have a whole lot of skills with the forehand, so anytime we're busting those out, you've got to believe we've got some confidence in ourselves, and we've practiced it. So I'm outside the circle. Really need to make this up, or I'm losing a stroke to my field.
Oh.
Yep, little nose up. I do putt with a slight bit of nose up, so you got to make sure you throw them in there when you do that. Oh, and fantastic putter. She putts with the JK AVR. Tough. That was a tough basket for both of us on that left side.
With her tap in, though, we have a tie at the top between you and Owen.
I was feeling pretty good. I had ran 4 in a row at that point in time, and sometimes, it's hard to get those bad beats. You just got to make it go and then hope it's only one stroke when it all comes down to it.
Hole 6, another sub 200 foot par 3, sweeping sort of a side hill kind of a fairway here. A bit uphill from the tee, but it's the side hill that begins to play with the traditional right-hand, backhand hyzer shot. You're going to sort of knife the shot into this green complex from down below. Owen with the box for the first time.
Even though its distance is smaller, Owen is actually throwing a destroyer on this hole because the angle is severe enough and long enough. You need it to carry and glide to be able to go through that tree or around the tree that has all the knots on it.
You can see how high she's looking here.
Really nice shot by Jennifer on there. She hit the gap. I know this seems weird, folks, but I do have a Stingray on a hyzer here. This nice little Waterloo Stingray stamp. Had worked in practice all the time. I was pretty amped up after that bogey, and so I definitely just unleashed. And that's sometimes the problems when you're playing. This is an incredibly difficult shot. I had an overhand, I had an anhyzer, I have this high forehand, and I elected to go with this one because of the fact it worked out and it seemed like my greatest opportunity just to make a putt.
Jen, after falling just a little bit behind with a big putt to keep pace.
Excellent right there. That's the classic. If you can get it up, you can get it in. Feel pretty good about this par save here. I will drop a strokes to both of my card mates, but considering the position, I'll take it.
Hole 7 is a 267-foot par 3, downhill significantly, and into an open area. You've got an early gap and then an open area. That's what we're looking at right now. Difficult to control the landing, something to consider when choosing your disc and your shot shape.
This is such a nice hole from the Reds. It's a really good speed control. Owen right here electing to do the forehand is taking almost the speed out of it. Very wise, very smart play.
Yep, she knows you're not going to miss the ground. Eventually, you're going to find it, so might as well use it.
Jennifer has a P1X. It is a flippy disc for her.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
All right, I'm setting up with another Stingray. Shout out to the Utopia Fest. This one was a great hole for me in practice. You're going to see what happens right now. Yeah, nah.
Oh! Trying to shape one in there.
Yeah, that's kind of sometimes the classic of getting really excited and feeling like you want to ace, and maybe you should just be playing some golf out there. So I'm outside the circle, looking for a little bit of a run. I actually putt with AVR drivers. It's an older school. That putter is actually from 2007. Yeah, it's about my actions. Jennifer, though, she is inside the circle.
Almost.
Almost.
Owen going to take a stroke right here. And the lead.
In the lead. That's the power of that forehand right there. She took all of the gravity out and made it work for her. It was a good shot.
I actually overheard you say something between hole 7 and hole 8. I overheard you say, I play rec to have fun.
Yeah, if you guys know, I'm actually married to Jay Yeti, and he told me, go have fun up there. And I do play recreationals to have fun. I'm out here to win.
Hole number 8, just 123 feet, steeply uphill. It's obviously a par 3, requiring, I would say, at least 100 more feet in power to have a chance at getting up onto this plateau. And then, of course, you've got to hold this steeply sloped plateau.
I agree with you. I toggle between a control grip and a power grip. Oh, this is the perfect play. If you can throw the forehand up there, you got the chip. Owen just did not get it high enough. This is Jen's Cayman.
Yet another forehand from Jen, a rare thing indeed.
Oh, I actually owe her $1. It hit the basket. I thought it only hit the PDGA. All right, I do have a forehand, but I do have a wicked turnover. So I am throwing a Spike Anheuser. That's right, everyone, with a Stingray.
Spike Anheuser, you won't hear that often.
Or should you?
Off the edge, but it settles quickly for Owen.
That was a really good putt by Owen with that gravity feed. It kind of just held out on that right side. She did hit strong side. She should feel good about that stroke. This will show you exactly how many hills are here in Missouri, this great state, the Show Me State. I have to actually take a knee for, I think it was almost like a 15-footer, but because of my height at 6 foot, I felt like I needed to be on the level of the basket.
Still putting downhill from where you were.
Yeah, and the little scoots.
Jen, now this to close within 2 of the lead. Just keeping pace at this point.
Jennifer and I go way back. I moved to Texas in 2000. We both joined the PDGA in 1999 and have really played pretty much all of these years together, with her being an Oklahoma native, and I was in Texas when I was just really starting.
Stepping out of hole number 9, a 505-foot par 5, playing up and over this section of the property.
Really tricky hole right here. The camera is at the pivot point. Your second shot ideally will shoot down either one of the right or left corridors, leading to a freshly guarded basket that sits with a slight drop off. So it's very important to be able to control your speed, your shot angle, and choose which alley is the best for your game and sets up for your shot at hand. Jennifer has her beat up destroyer in her hand right now, which means she is going for it. Wow, it is tracking.
Oh, what an excellent finish. We actually couldn't see the disc finish, but we knew the shot was good off the tee, and now you can see how it swooped in there from the right to the left, landing in the open space. Always a plus on John Hoke design courses to be in the open. Here you go.
I'm throwing a Roadrunner, looking for placement. Jennifer's shot was just a mash down there. I feel good about my place. I'm actually going to go to the left side, which is not where I wanted to be. I feel like the right corridor is the one you want to shoot down for this green. Owen showing her craftiness with both the backhand and the forehand. Oh, it's always interesting what happens down the fairway, everyone. So that's where you should never judge your shot until you get to your shot. You can see this left fairway is open. It's a really nice design. It is a little tighter, working the speed, and Owen showing her adversity with that backhand and forehand. Good combo. Get out in the field and work on those. This is a perfect Stingray shot. Just getting ready to set up. Should let it shape up and flip it up. Problems sometimes, they just happen. Need some recovery. Now I've got like all sorts of different outs to go. So I'm just throwing towards the basket. And sometimes they work out.
Wow, the way this shot finished.
It was tasty.
Really soft. If it hadn't finished that soft, you've got that drop off to worry about. So that was a really spectacular shot there. Now Jen's got to try to shape something in.
So this is Jennifer's drive. Owen has thrown 2 shots. I have thrown 3 shots to Jennifer's 1 shot. She does pull it a little bit farther over. I do believe it stayed up on that green, just off the hillside. Owen playing for positioning, showing class with not being able to pinch off more than you need to. Jennifer did fall a little bit. She's probably right at the circle's edge.
Wanted that one.
Yeah.
Really gave that one a go.
Oh, an eagle on that. I know I birdied it in practice and felt so good about it with an eagle putt.
Owen. What a
it.
great shot.
Yeah. Way to know her strength is in her putt and play to that putt. Sometimes you don't always have to get to the basket to make the shot that you need to make for your score. Again, very important to set up, do your routine, be a professional, look at your spot and hit it.
up and in to finish your opening 9 here at the 2021 Tim Selinske U.S. Masters Championships. Jen taps in as well. To finish this opening 9, Owen Scoggins in the lead by 2 at -6. Jen and you, Des, tied 2 strokes back at 4 under par as we move off the hill, down the hill to the back 9 here at Harmony Bend's Disc Golf Course in Columbia, Missouri. Stay tuned to thepga.com and our social media channels for continued coverage of the U.S. Masters Championships.